What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're having a look at Zoro and Kaku and Luffy and Lucci once again. The thing is, you know, these type of celebrations are meant to be like kind of hype, and a lot of people should be looking forward to these type of events. However, you know, just from what I've seen in the community, it just seems like this is not what people really wanted to see. And it's crazy because, like, yeah, I do agree with the fact that, like, Luffy and Lucci, not the craziest hype character ever, to be honest, but I mean, it's not like we didn't see it coming. Like, we kind of knew this was going to be happening. And, you know, Zoro and Kaku as well, like, it just makes sense, right? And I just feel like at this point in time, it's just like the waiting game until the next big anniversary period. And of course, the worldwide anniversary, I mean, doesn't really count as like a real anniversary because we don't even have any Super Sugo Fest exclusives. And the fact that Super Sugos are like the most valuable characters in the game, those are the characters you want to be pulling dupes of. Like, anniversary exclusives, they come out during the anniversary in May. So it's, if you do miss out on these units here, they're not gonna have to, like, you're not gonna have to wait that long before they're back. So that's the way that I kind of look at it right now. And also the fact that the characters that come out for the anniversary on May 12th is just like, those characters are probably just going to be like the best characters in the game. So getting characters like Zoro, Kaku, Luffy, Lucci now, they do have some redeeming qualities for sure. But I mean, like, let's have a look here at Luffy and Lucci, just in terms of what they're doing. As a captain, they're kind of interesting. They do resist special reverse, which could be kind of a key component to them. And then if you have barrier pen and you activate it, you can remove 1 turn of barrier, 1 turn of increased defense. Like, I do kind of dig that. I think that's kind of cool. And then with Lucci captain, you reduce resilience by 1 turn, and then also increase defense by 1 turn. And then of course in their combined form is when you can remove like all of them, like being barrier, resilience, and increased defense. So yeah, they have a really interesting captain ability, but the thing is like, when we've got big characters coming up in May for the 11th anniversary, they should definitely supersede whatever we're getting within this celebration, right? Also, I think a lot of people are kind of annoyed the fact that this character is like kind of shooter focused, specifically looking at the Rumble stuff. Considering shooters are just kind of bad in Pirate Rumble, this character doesn't really help out all that much. And the fact that his kit also targets a side powerhouse enemy, like, that's very, very specific. So most of the time you're just going to get the attack buff and the increased damage through defense through to 2 targets with low HP. So yeah, the character's not very exciting in that regard. The fact that this character doesn't really have a lot going for them doesn't really help out either. So yeah, look, it is what it is. We just have to kind of deal with it at this time. But look, the thing is I do think that their special is actually quite good. Some people kind of argue with me on Twitter with the fact that, like, this character doesn't seem that great, but like, let's be real here. If you read this special, right, there is no end of month character, like generic end of month character, that even comes close to what this special is doing. This special is absurdly powerful, and if you don't think it's a good special, then I just think you're wrong, and like, you're just reading something different to me, because this is crazy powerful, being able to give you special bind reduction. Of course, you do need to use their where is it? It's their super, their super effect, whatever it is, the swap. The swap allows them to remove special bind on themselves. So you have to use their switch effect, and then you can remove special bind. If you have a Dex or Quick, Fighter, or Slasher character as a captain, then you get 2 conditional boost stacks. And then if you have a Dex or Quick, Shooter, or Free Spirit captain, then it inflicts all enemies with set target status, dealing 1.75 times damage, which is, yeah, this is really, really powerful. And I mean, there's just no character that can do what this character does. Of course, the main issue with that is the fact that it's a Luffy character, and we always inevitably get better and better Luffy characters. So that's the main issue that I see with this guy moving forward, is that special is so good, but then I can see us getting better Luffys in the future, where it's just like, well, do you want to use this Luffy who can do some really unique stuff, or the new Luffy who's likely better in a lot of scenarios? I mean, we just got the New Year's Luffy, like, literally not that long ago, man. Where even is he? He's like here somewhere. The New Year's Luffy, right? So, it's like, do you want to use this guy in your team, or do you want to use the new Luffy Lucci? I mean, this guy has a lot of good stuff going for him as well. Of course, with his special ability, being able to do the 3 times increased damage taken, potentially getting a 3 times increased damage taken conditional boost as well, plus weakness. Like, this guy's cracked. And then obviously potentially getting up to nearly a 7 times captain effect is quite good. So, you know, if you're just comparing those two, right? I don't know, it's really hard to squeeze them into a team. Obviously, you can use one as a friend captain, one as your own captain, but it's kind of an awkward situation for this guy. And then if we move over to Zoro and Kaku, I actually kind of dig what this guy does. The thing is with Luffy and Lucci, you really have to build around their special and getting this to activate. So you need like the Dex or Quick fighter slash a captain, but also making sure that unit is also Dex or Quick as well as being shooter or free spirit. So of course, if you have one of these guys, either Luffy or Lucci as your captain, you can get it to work. It's not a problem. But then if you use Zoro and Kaku, like they just kind of can be injected into a ton of teams, and it's going to give you benefits no matter what. So if we have a look at like their captain ability, like it doesn't really do that much. It's giving you like obviously damage, matching slots, the whole crit buff is whatever. But if you hit a crit, you can remove Rainbow Shield and Threshold by 2 turns. Potentially could be quite good. But of course, they have the really unique thing in their captain ability where you've got Kaku, who gives you a conditional boost against increased damage taken and reduced defense, and then Zoro gives you a burn conditional boost and a defense down conditional boost. Like this kind of effect is really only good in Kizuna Clash or extremely short form content. Most of the time this is not going to matter. However, the fact that you can get that at the start of the quest, their switch ability does reduce all enemies' defense by 50%, reduces attack down by 1 turn, which is also very good for a switch, and then you also get an overrideable 1.5 times attack boost to fighter, shooter, free spirit, slasher. So realistically, what you could do is have this guy on your team, you set him as a captain, and then both sides give you a defense down conditional boost. So you've got like Kaku, as we said, is reduced defense, and then Zoro also reduced defense, but then they have like a secondary effect where Zoro can give you burn conditional, this guy, Kaku, can give you increased damage taken conditional boost, and then every single turn, you can just activate this switch effect, and because this conditional boost lasts for 5 turns, you can just have like this conditional boost active for 5 turns every time you switch. Of course, if they have full immunity, that doesn't help, but in most cases, like against like mobs or some very minor mini bosses, you're just going to get like a free 3 times conditional boost against them, which is actually pretty cool. And then removing attack down, as we said, is very good. They also have a crewmate ability, which also reduces 1 turn of attack down, so lots of attack down removal, which we love to see. And then switch abilities that provide this overrideable buff, especially like attack or orb boosts, are very, very powerful. So I like the fact that they can do that. And of course, if you get their super switch, you also get the defense, which is 100% now, and it goes through immunity. They also give you an attack and an orb boost for those classes that are overrideable, which is very, very good. And increases the duration of status attack buffs, so conditional boost by 2 turns. So being able to get conditional boosts buffed by that margin is quite good, meaning if you do use him as a captain and then like the enemy gives you max super switches at the start of the quest, you can switch to make this conditional boost last for 7 turns potentially, which is quite good. And then if you have a look at their special, again, a very generic special that can be used in a ton of teams. Damage, 6 turn attack down removal, which of course, very good at removing attack down. It reduces enemies' orb-based damage reduction, which is a very unique ability. You get the 3.0 chain boundary, a 2.0 chain addition. This should be wrong. This is a chain addition, I do believe. If this character was the captain at the start, then it does give you conditional boost extending by 1, and then it also increases attack and orb boosts by 0.35. So potentially making their attack and orb boost with their switch become like a 2.1 times, which is actually pretty cool. And then also you fuse for 3 turns. Their super switch as well, or their super special, should we say. It's got the 5 turn tap timing bonus damage, and then also buffs chain locks by up to 0.5. So their special ability can actually give you a 3.5 times chain locking ability, chain boundary, which is, again, very, very good. So this is what I'm saying. I do think Zoro Kaku is like the best character of the batch because you can use them in a ton of teams, and we don't realistically get like a ton of Zoro and or Kaku characters that are gonna have overlap with this guy, whereas with Luffy and Lucci, in terms of high damage content, we typically will always get like a new better and better Luffy, where it's very rare that we get a Zoro that is like super top tier. Obviously Zoro and Sanji is really the only character that I can see that is going to have overlapping problems with this guy, but like this is a generic character that's going to work well in a lot of scenarios, whereas Luffy and Lucci are kind of really difficult to use because you have to like, you know, fulfill this condition with their special ability. Of course they can do it by themselves, but if you want to use someone else as a captain, then yeah, you got to be careful in terms of the team building aspect of this guy. And like a lot of people just really aren't that excited. I mean, this is just some comments from my most recent video when we first got the news. Funny, like Paronga wishes up talking about Dokkan Battle, of course, which is hilarious. And then again, L character, L anniversary, L company, L game. I mean, a lot of people are just kind of dumb with it. So it's interesting, right? A lot of people here are just saying, oh, you know, play Dokkan Battle, blah blah blah. Dokkan keeps winning. Yeah, again, conditional boost without giving the condition itself, specifically talking about Luffy and Lucci. So the fact that Luffy and Lucci provide an effect which can give you 2 conditional boosts for 1 turn, and then you do get a conditional boost via their super special, but it gives you a delayed and a paralyzed conditional boost, this character does not delay or paralyze the enemy, which is a bit of an issue. So it means that if you are team building with this guy, not only do you have to team build with the classes and colors in mind, but again, I keep saying that, but specifically you have to be careful because sometimes you want to be building with a specific captain in mind, so you do have to be careful. This character does have captain shift, so technically you can get stuff to work the way that you want, but you do have to be very careful in terms of how it works. But yeah, usually characters, or at least every character that comes to mind that has a double stacking conditional boost, gives you at least the condition to fulfill their own conditional boost. This character doesn't do that. Of course, this character has other abilities such as the set target status, which is a very powerful mechanic that a lot of people do overlook. It's very, very good. So, you know, I can understand where people are coming from, because if you are comparing, you know, some of the things that we've seen previously, it's not very exciting. So I can definitely see why people are saying the things that they are saying in regards to this celebration. But that's just kind of it. I just wanted to give you like some extra thoughts and opinions, like now that we've had a couple of days to digest this information. Just giving you guys a bit of a rundown once again. Overall, I do think Zoro and Kaku are the better character to own, I think, in the long term. Whereas I do think Luffy and Lucci, they are very, very good. They have such a high ceiling, but I just think that they're going to be kind of tricky to use, especially if you do not have a very established account. I wouldn't suggest getting Luffy and Lucci, but they do have some pretty cool stuff, as we said. I mean, interesting captain ability, resisting special reverse is always a good effect to have. And then, as I said, very high ceiling with their special. It just, I think generally speaking, Zoro and Kaku can just be chucked into a ton of teams and they're going to give you a bunch of benefits. So that's the way that I see it anyways. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be boosted on what part of the banner, because that is definitely going to be an interesting component to look at. Like, hypothetically, if like Dex Roger is just boosted on Zoro and Kaku's banner, and like Cross Guild is on their banner as well, like this is like hands down like the best banner. Like you should definitely pull on that one compared to Luffy and Lucci. But I assume that they're going to balance them out in some capacity. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, it's going to be annoying to play through this event period without these units. So I mean, I do not plan on getting both of these units, by the way. I only plan to do like a handful of multis because I do want to save my gems for the upcoming 11th anniversary. That's my plan moving forward. And also I do like to pull on TMs. So these banners like this where the characters are cool but they're not like end all be all type of characters, I can definitely do without them. So that's my thoughts and opinions on them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.